How's it going, everyone? Peti Kish here, coming with you with another video. Today, we're going to be doing something a bit different. I'm going to tell you what my top characters I want to see if Capcom made a Marvel vs. Capcom 4, an official one, coming back again to the franchise, back to the basics. Marvel vs. Capcom has been getting a comeback in some way. It has been returning in a way with the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, with all the games that was included, all the classics from the arcades, all of them coming back. People now playing them. You can play with online, all that. It's wonderful to see people having a blast playing those older games and looking back, nostalgia trip pretty much. And, you know, as also the modding community for like Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which has been a thing for like a while now. And now actually there is a certain modding community as well coming to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which Maximilian dude and his community, his modding community, is trying to change it up a bit to make it more appealing and have something more to it, which is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Beyond. So yeah, there is a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom going on, and I wanted to put my own personal list if Capcom ever made Marvel vs. Capcom 4. So I have this roster list here, and I have 30 for Marvel and 30 for Capcom. I would love to see together, as well as we have a DLC just in case they've added DLC. So I put 5 for Marvel and 5 for Capcom. At the end of the video, I will be posting this list. So I just want to explain what characters I would like to put in. There are obviously, you know, obvious choices from older Marvel vs. Capcom games, as well as characters I would love to see in some sort of way would be cool. And also mechanically, how different it would be to see a character with this kind of different fighting style or different kind of equipment they can use against the other opponent. I think that all these benefit to what I'm picking on these lists altogether with these characters. Okay, so I'll show you what I put in my tier list of what characters I want to put in there. But before we do that, I'd love if you guys could like, share, sub, follow if you can on this channel. I'd really appreciate if you could do that if you want to see more of this kind of content on here. But here we go. I made the tier list already ahead of time because I don't want to, you know, waste too much time here picking and choosing, because there is a lot to choose from. Massive amount of characters. Like, you look down here. Look how much characters we have. Let's start off with the Capcom list. Obviously, we got the basic characters. So I would have Ryu, obvious choice, Chun-Li, another obvious choice, and Akuma. The reason why I picked Akuma is because I was thinking about Ken or Cammy or Sakura or someone else like that, because Akuma has been in almost all of them going forward of the series, and I think he's just a popular pick. Most of the time, if you talk about Street Fighter, Akuma is usually a very popular pick, and I think it would be cool to see Akuma in there, of course. So the next one on here is Mega Man. And it's not just any Mega Man, it's the OG Mega Man. Because the OG Mega Man is a little bit smaller than usual, so he's not going to be purely the same. Then we got Zero, representing Mega Man X, pretty much. We got Darkstalkers, so we have Morgan, we got John Cabben. I don't know if I butchered that. He's a werewolf. Because Darkstalkers does have a lot of cool characters, but I wanted to switch it up with a lot of the Darkstalker characters. Morgan's a given, obviously, and then I had to choose 2 others because I think Darkstalkers has a lot to offer. I wouldn't be surprised if they even had more characters. I just couldn't fit them in here. I would add more. Obviously, same with Street Fighter, Mega Man, Darkstalkers, you know, Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, all of these. I would love to add more characters, but it's just a minimum of how much? 30 for each, you know? It's very hard. Okay, so we got the werewolf. We got BB Hood, which I think aesthetically is a very cool character. It's just a Red Riding Hood with machine guns and, like, you know, guns and all sorts of different things. It's a cool concept, and I think it would be cool to see as well. Next is Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins. Classic. Had to put him in there. He's just a knight. Strider. He's been in the original. He's a cool ninja dude. Let's put him in there. Spencer. He's been in a lot of the newer ones too. I think Spencer would be cool, but this version of Spencer that you see up here is from the newer version of Biocommando. I think it's Biocommando. I could be wrong. Some of these Capcom characters, I'm gonna probably butcher their names from what franchise they come from. So keep in mind, played a lot of Capcom games, but I don't know most of these. I like the obscure characters because you can represent some of these old franchises that Capcom doesn't really touch and put it into Marvel vs. Capcom. That's what makes it special. And then we got Captain Commando. Obviously, he would be in there. Now we got Devil May Cry. I put Dante, Virgil, Given, but then I was really confused who I wanted to put in for the third Devil May Cry character. I was thinking about Trish, Lady, and then Nero. And I thought, because Devil May Cry 5 was so cool with all the different varieties of characters, that I think Nero, even though, you know, it's another male character, I think it's worth putting Nero in there because everyone had their different type of fighting style. And I think it would be cool to see Nero in there as a character instead of Trish or Lady. But we'll continue with that later because I think they would be better as a DLC character, in my opinion. All right, and then we got Frank West from Dead Rising, Phoenix Wright from Ace Attorney. They're main characters of those games. One character per each, obviously. As well as now Resident Evil. So I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. I think to bring back Jill, I would say Jill needs to be closer to what she felt like in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 than in 3. I didn't like that style of Jill. I know it's the Resident Evil 5 and they were getting a lot of Resident Evil 5 references from in that 1 and 3. But I think Jill needs to be closer to how she played in 2. You know, throwing zombies around, doing, you know, shooting, rocket launcher, all that stuff. I think make her closer to her original style, her fighting style, kind of like that. And then I do love Chris Redfield, but I wanted to put Leon because I think Leon hasn't been really shown before in there. And Leon is top tier usually in the Resident Evil franchise as characters. I want to put Chris, I really do, but I think Leon we need to switch it up a bit, and I think Leon should be in there instead. I think he would be a cool character too. Give him some knife fighting styles, all that. Yeah, I think he would be really cool either way. And then I put Nemesis. Nemesis is because he's like the top monster stalker character in the franchise. I was thinking other big characters like a Tyrant from 1 or Lady D, you know, or Jack Baker or something, but none of them have that character that everyone remembers from Resident Evil. Most of the time, it's just Nemesis. Even Mr. X. No. Nemesis is top tier from all the monsters usually. So it's the basic choice, but it's probably the best choice, you know? After that, we got a Monster Hunter reference, the hunter himself. I think he would play like, actually, he was an Infinite, but what I think he could do, or she, because you could switch between male and female. If you ever play Smash Ultimate, I think they would be like Byleth. Like you can switch between different classes of weapons in between. I think something like that of a character could be really interesting. Like that kind of concept. So you can have like a hammer or a long sword or a bow or, you know, a gun or anything, like different varieties of weapons switch on and off. And then we have Regina from Dino Crisis. That's like the character I want most because, like you can see, Ryu, it's in the RE engine from Street Fighter 6, the new one. If this was done in the RE engine, but a little bit more of a cartoonist style with the RE engine, it'd be very interesting to see Regina's concept of how she would look, you know, if Capcom would ever do a Dino Crisis remake or something with Dino Crisis. Regina would be really cool. Make her different than Jill for sure. A little bit closer. You can probably do dinosaur stuff, you know, and the ult could be like summons a T-Rex or something interesting with dinosaurs. I think that'd be cool. cool for Regina. Same with Monster Hunter. You know, you can have the dragon monsters and all that. Then we have Okami, Amaterasu, the wolf. I think, yeah, that's a given. As well as Jin. I think he's from some sort of game. It's called Full Metal something. Because he's been in the original and in 2. But I think he would be cool because he can transform into like, he could go inside, he could go in and outside a mech. So I think something like that, like a mech gameplay would be cool for that character. You could go in and out of mechs, kind of like an Overwatch, like a diva kind of character. That would be cool. Viewful Joe, obviously. I think we need to make him go faster. I think he was too slow in some of the other ones. Akira, Rival Schools, I think she would be cool. Just for a representation, you know, for the Rival Schools, I think she would be that because a lot of people know her from Street Fighter V because of the DLC, and that pretty much put her on the map for that. I was looking at other Rival Schools characters, and I think she would be it because pretty much a normalist, but also characters I would love to see, you know. But nothing's more obscure than these next ones right here. Azura from Azar's Wrath. Yeah, like these are so obscure games. Like no one's got Ryu from Breath of Fire. It's like an RPG Final Fantasy. It's the Capcom Final Fantasy pretty much. Amnesia or whatever it's called. It's a samurai dude. So these are so obscure, but that's what makes them good because just like in Smash, you had characters that were so obscure, no one knew some of these characters. They put them in there, and then you want to actually learn about the game itself, obviously, from just putting fighting game characters in from different franchises. You want to know about that franchise or that game because it might be interesting. Fire Emblem came to Super Smash Melee. No one knew what Fire Emblem was until later, and then people loved the characters Marth and Roy and all these other characters coming up from Fire Emblem. I think obscure characters could be good. And then we have also a Ruby Heart. Just for this game, she's that one character where you're like, who is that character? It has literally no other franchise, just Marvel vs. Capcom. It's like a pirate woman. She's like a captain, and that's literally it. That's her character. And I think she would be like a comeback from her character would be okay because she's probably the more memorable characters from all the original characters they made. I was going to put way more characters, way more Darkstalkers, way more Resident Evil, way more, you know, all these others. But I think some representation for all of the franchises, at least one character would be nice for each one. Now we're going into Marvel territory. This list is mostly gonna be X-Men characters because X-Men characters have the dopest looking, coolest characters from all of them, and they're all uniquely different, you know, power levels, and all different, you know, varieties of what they can do with their powers. So obviously we're gonna put Wolverine, obvious choice. Cyclops, you can have, I couldn't believe Infinite didn't have Cyclops in there. You got to have Ryu and Cyclops. They have the handshake on the covers, and it's like, it's basic. You got to have Cyclops in there or Wolverine. There's no other choice. You have to. And then I straight up put all the Avengers in there. So I put Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye. There you go. You got all your Avengers right there. Easy as that. A given, I think. You need to have all these characters just there. And then we have Spider-Man, another given. With Venom, you had to do 2. But then I was like, okay, we have Venom and Spider-Man. I was thinking about Miles Morales, Spidey-Gwen, but I was like, I don't even want to do that. I want to do something a bit different and, you know, technically a little bit different. And I said Green Goblin. It's like Spider-Man's pretty much arch nemesis. Green Goblin's like one of the big ones. And I was like, I think it'd be cool technically if he used his glider or some sort of, you know, throw pumpkin bombs in there or something in that sense. I think that would be interesting for that character. And then instead of like Sentinel, because I think Sentinel kind of basic, to be honest, it's just a robot that kills mutants. Like a really strong robot. Like there's a lot of them. But I was like, okay, I think I want to put Kingpin in there for a big character villain, because Kingpin, is really, really strong, and he's a big dude, and he could take on the Spider-Man or any of these characters. I don't think he could take on a Hulk, but I think it would be interesting and unique and different to put Kingpin in there instead of like, Sentinel or a Thanos. I think Kingpin would be cool. It's a bit different. I want to do something different, We got Gambit, Rogue, Storm, Magneto, Nightcrawler, Psylocke, Mysterio. All of these characters are very unique, very different playstyle wise, and they're all X-Men pretty much characters. So I think they're all unique. All would have something to offer different, and I think it would be cool. And then we got Captain Marvel. I was thinking about Jean Grey, the Phoenix, but then I was like, maybe we need to tone down some X-Men characters here and there, and let's put someone else. We put Captain Marvel in there. Why not? They're always pushing Captain Marvel in Marvel, so same with Doctor Doom. I think Doctor Doom would be the Thanos of this group here, because I think Doctor Doom is like the next upcoming big baddie in the Marvel universe, like Magneto or Doctor Doom. These are like two big bad guys. Green Goblin, a lot of these characters, Kingpin. I think a lot of them are good. I think Doctor Doom would be a very strong pick. Deadpool as a given. He's been in all of them almost recently. He was been in all of them. Loki would be interesting with his gimmick where he trolls people pretty much, messes them up, changes stuff up. He could be interesting with that. Ghost Rider, he's been another one. He's pretty cool design-wise. He's pretty dope. I think it's about time to put in Blade. Blade is such a cool character. I don't know why they never put Blade in Marvel vs. Capcom. It's about time we get Blade. Seriously, I think it would be a cool thing to see Blade in there. And then as well, Black Panther from Infinite, Rocket Raccoon, he was also in Infinite. I think it would be cool. A little bit different. Doctor Strange, obviously. And then I thought Elsa Bloodstone. She's very low-key. She's not as memorable as all these other characters, but I think her design and what she can put to the table, sort of like a Blade character, I think it would be kind of cool to see her. You got to put always some other people in there in Marvel and in Capcom that people really don't know of. So it's just very obscure, but if you know, you know. And then Ant-Man, even though it's dumb, I think he could be a very interesting character. He can be small, he can grow. Just be a weird character to play. But I think he'd be very unique for sure, Ant-Man. That's why I put him on the list there. And now, that's pretty much it for Marvel and Capcom categories. Now we're going to the DLCs. Now this one is probably the hardest to pick, to be honest, because these are characters you want to continue some other franchises or continue and add a theme to it, what you want coming up. So for Capcom, I put Hagar because there's no rep for Final Fight, and I thought that would be cool to put Hagar. He's probably the most well-known. Yeah, we don't have a big bruiser character really on the Capcom side. And then we put Lady in here because I wanted to put someone for Devil May Cry, a female. I was thinking about Felicia, Catgirl from Darkstalkers. And then I put Wesker. He's top tier villain. We have to put him because this is where the villain arcs are going to come out for the DLCs. So you put Albert Wesker, M. Bison, and Dr. Wily. These three from three of the biggest franchises Capcom has have to be in the villain category, just in the DLC. I think it would be really cool. So you have Albert Wesker with all the Matrix stuff going around. He can warp and do all this stuff. Yeah, he'd just be a cool character. You have to put him. But the thing is, I don't have Chris Redfield, which pisses me off because I want Chris because he's like a rival with Wesker. But I was like, you know what? We gotta leave Chris. Maybe for Marvel vs. Capcom 5, he would return, Chris Redfield. But for now, Wesker needs to be in here with Jill, Leon, and Nemesis. And then we have M. Bison. I was thinking about Cammy, like I said, or Ken, or Sakura. But I think M. Bison, the main villain of the series for a while, he needs to be there. So you have 4 reps for Street Fighter. And then, like I said, for Mega Man, I felt like we needed another character And why not put at the end Dr. Wily? He would be very interesting. He could summon robots, bosses. He can, a machine he could be in or something. He would be interesting, kind of like what some other characters can do in the Mega Man series. But I think Dr. Wily would be very cool. I didn't want Sigma, not really. He has a sword and everything, but I was like, I think it would be interesting to do Dr. Wily instead. Marvel or DLC, we have Quicksilver. Now, I thought this would be really interesting mechanically and cool, kind of like a Flash, but it's like fast-paced, very fast, character gets in, gets out, and punches them fast and goes out and in. I think it would be interesting for combos. I think Quicksilver would be interesting as a fast character. Mr. Fantastic, that would be interesting. I was thinking about Dalsim because he's also like a stretchable character, but I think Mr. Fantastic could be interesting with the stretchy ability. Also, I want another Fantastic Four rep in there, as well as you can see Human Torch. I put him in the last. I want to put more of those because I just don't want Doctor Doom as the main Fantastic Four character. Let's add some other Fantastic Four characters. I was thinking about Invisible Woman and I was thinking about The Thing, but I was like, we got a Hulk, we got Kingpin. I don't want that. I want to do something different. And also Human Torch because, he's on fire and that's pretty cool. Fire abilities and all that. And the other one, Stretchy. So we have also Silver Surfer. I was really thinking about this. I was thinking about like She-Hulk, but I was like, it's just a copy of Hulk pretty much, just strength. It's just a female version. But I was like Silver Surfer. It could work like a Green Goblin with the glider, but this one, he would be always on his surfboard, I think. I don't know if he would hop off and on, but most of the time he would be on his surfboard. And I think that would be an interesting concept too with Silver Surfer. And then for the last one is Emma Frost. I wanted to put Iceman in there, but I said Emma Frost. She's more like diamonds and ice, and I think, and also has some other things just from the X-Men franchise. And I think I just wanted to do something a bit different too, and add another female in there, of course, for the Marvel side, instead of another male Iceman. So I just wanted to put that in there too. So yeah. So that's pretty much my Marvel vs. Capcom list. This list and putting each character in. And at the end of this video, you guys could check it out, as well as check it out on my Twitter. I'll be posting this list with also the DLCs as, a separate thing. I'll put it on my Twitter. You guys can check out. I put my Twitter handle below at Peti Kish. You can find it there, Twitter/X. Just wanted to post this, guys. I wanted to make this video just to explain what I wanted to do. It's a little bit fun. What do you guys think overall about this? Let me know in the comments below. I thank you so much for watching this long. And if you didn't like this video, I still thank you so much for watching this long. Until the next time, guys, I'll see you guys all soon.
It's your way I'm looking. I'm like, were you Hadouken? Yeah, you've caught my eye. Now I've got to try to get you, baby, on my side. Take you
Select your heroes. Get ready to kick butt.
It's plain to see this ain't a game to me. Baby, you're my destiny. I wanna take you for a ride.
Marvel vs. Capcom 4. The Return of Heroes.